Konnichiwa. Yes! Here we go!
Hello guys, this is John from True in Japan, a video blog about a university student on exchange. Today I'll be doing a video preview review on the Nintendo 3DS, the next generation of Nintendo's handheld gaming devices. For those of you who don't know, I recently had the opportunity to attend Nintendo World 2011, held at the Makuhari Messe in Chiba, Japan. At the event, several demonstrations and viewings of the 3DS were available for preview prior to the system's launch on February 26, 2011. For the last few months, the Nintendo 3DS has garnered the attention of consumers, gaming enthusiasts, and the mass media for its revolutionary glasses-free 3D gaming experience. Should people truly be excited? Is this merely hype? What about its price point? Nintendo has been boasting a lot about its newest project for nearly half a year now. Is this truly the next level of gaming? Or is this glasses-free 3D gaming craze just another disappointing gimmick? Despite striking resemblance to the DSlite, the 3DS is said to actually be the next level of gaming for the handheld market. In terms of specs and technical graphics, the 3DS is on par or just below the Wii, making for some of the best quality visuals on a handheld we've seen in recent years. The images shown are crisp, and the 3D effect forces all games to appear more bright and clear. To say the least, I was impressed. Both Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater and Super Street Fighter 4 both have excellent visual styles. Resident Evil Revelations featured a few cutscenes that made me think I was playing a console on a smaller screen. However, that is not to say all is well. There are a few issues with the screen. At 800 by 2400 pixels, the 3D effect just feels contained. So there are two kinds of 3D, the type that will stick out at you, and the type that you look into. The 3D represented by the Nintendo 3DS is of the latter. As you look into the 3D for the first time, you'll notice that it's surprisingly similar to looking through a window. That is, the 3D effect allows you to sense depth. The effect is similar to that of 3D postcards or 3D cereal boxes, in which two images are displayed that trick your eyes into creating a 3D effect. The delivery is quite amazing. In The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, for example, Link has the ability to pick up rocks and throw them. As he performs this action, you can see how far the green-suited elf boy is actually throwing the rock. In the working title of Mario Kart, the 3D allows you to see how far and how close you are in relation to other players, the landscape, the hills, the waterfalls, and even other items. The most vibrant example of how the 3D works is with the text screens, the on-screen buttons, the health bars, on-screen maps and menus. All of these aforementioned objects feel closer to you, like a picture sitting on a windowsill. The effect may not be a gimmick, but it does suffer from a variety of weaknesses. During my experiences playing the 3DS, I noticed that your head must be kept at a certain distance and within a certain range. Anywhere outside this range and the 3D effect is lost. However, if you would like to keep your eyes closer to the screen, you can do so by adjusting the 3D slider, a knob on the side of the 3DS that controls the depth of the 3D and has the ability to revert the screen into a more traditional 2D mode. After staring at the 3D screen for a long period of time, my eyes started to hurt because it became too difficult to focus. Luckily, Nintendo gave us the 3D slider so that we can place the game back into a 2D perspective. In its 2D form, I was able to rest my eyes, and after about half a minute or so, I was able to return back to the 3D. But what happens when you're outside of the 3DS's 3D effect? If you have the 3D turned up all the way and your eyes are out of the system's viewing range, what will happen? Well, you will experience one of two things. First, you may see two images on the screen. You will see one solid image and a more faded image overlapping the original image. This happens when your view is too far to the right or the left. Second, you may see a faded, blurry vertical black line running down the middle of the screen. This usually happens when your eyes are too close or too far from the screen. This is caused because of crossing. Despite its flaws, the 3DS does deliver a satisfying 3D experience and can immerse you into a game. Another new feature is the slide pad, the new method of directional movement for the 3DS. The slide pad plays similarly to the PlayStation Portable's thumbstick, except more refined, comfortable, and properly placed. The slide pad was necessary to implement into the 3DS as it allows you to control the depth of movement. That is, you can choose to run or walk, though you cannot click the slide pad down. It does have a secondary feature. In Project Sora's newest Kid Icarus title, if quickly jerked in a direction, the slide pad acts as a dash button, allowing one to hastily evade attack and improve mobility. Although awkward at first, the slide pad became natural after a few minutes. In a few games, however, the slide pad's controls were a bit difficult. Resident Evil, for example, proved to be a difficult experience as you used the slide pad to walk, had to hold down the X button and move the slide pad to run, and had to use the touchscreen for a camera angle. I suppose with time it would be easier to control, but for a first-time play, the camera angles were too sporadic and took away too much from the experience. Speaking of camera angles, in The Legend of Zelda, one can use the 3DS's built-in gyroscope to aim. Using a fairy's bow or a slingshot, or even just looking around, as you move the 3DS in the air, your screen will move too. As well, you can use the slide pad to aim. The 3DS has the ability to also take 3D pictures. Unfortunately, the 3D quality is not that strong, and instead it's similar to that of a lower-end BlackBerry cell phone camera. However, with the use of augmented reality and the ability to turn pictures into 3D images, the camera is still a neat little tool. So the big debate question is whether or not to buy the 3DS at launch for 25,000 yen, or roughly $300, tax included. No. After playing with the 3DS and experiencing what it was capable of, I would value this next generation system anywhere between $200 to $250 after tax. The 3D effect is quite nice, and there are a lot of secondary features that are actually very deep and entertaining. For that reason, I can justify this device being sold at least $180 minimum. However, based on my preview review experience, I place the 3DS's value at most $250 after tax. Thank you for watching. I hope my review has been a helpful insight on your concerns and wonders about the 3DS. If you have any questions regarding this device, feel free to PM me. It's been a long 2 decades since the first release of the original Game Boy. The 3DS marks the latest successor of Nintendo's long-running handheld devices. The machine is going to be a success, and will really be enough to shake up the market. Whether it be a boulder heading your way in Mario Kart, a fairy flying around you in Zelda, or the complex jungles of Metal Gear Solid, the 3DS has proven that 3D can exist without glasses, and that in the gaming industry, Nintendo is truly a master of innovation.